Hello and welcome to Jets Friday Frenzy. I'm your host Panda, and welcome to Jets Frenzy Friday. Jets Friday Frenzy, and thank you for joining us on the beginning of a wonderful Fourth of July weekend. And we're here to talk about the Jets who are on a bit of a break before training camp, and I would like to. I'm Daniel. That's my regular name, and I go by Panda. And let me introduce my other host here, Chris, who runs a podcast called Jets Liftoff, and he you could find him on Spotify, and he's been on his fourth or fifth episode now. You guys could check him out. And
Sixth, actually.
oh yes, sixth episode,
Who's counting?
and who's counting? And also the star of another Jets show in Jets universe, Jets Guru, the star Christa joins us today as well.
Hi.
Hi, Krista. How are you? Yeah, so today we're gonna kind of talk about more general NFL related news rather than the Jets because there isn't anything much regarding the Jets news because they're on break. So we wanted to kind of highlight Jets first, and we'll transition to the NFL as well. And one of the things that I want that's kind of urgent that's gonna happen in Jetland is the fact that Marcus May Marcus May's franchise tax deadline, July 15th, is coming up, and we really haven't heard any news. They say between the front office and Marcus May's agent, there's been good dialogue, but yet there really hasn't been anything happening. So the deadline is coming around. So this week we'll start with that, and let me throw it over to Chris, and let's talk about Marcus May's numbers.
All right, Marcus May. His deadline's coming up, July 15th, to sign any kind of an extension. If not, he's going to play on the franchise tag this year. I looked back on the last few safety position players that have signed, the better ones, just to have an idea of what his rate's going to be. Here's just some numbers, and then we could say, higher or lower or whatever. But Brown safety, John Johnson, signed a 3-year, $33.75 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants signed Logan Ryan, 3 years, $31 million. The Chiefs signed Tyrann Mathieu, 3 years, $42 million. And the Broncos signed Justin Simmons, 4 years, $61 million. So where do you guys think he's going to fit if they do sign him? Charmin, what's your guess since you just jumped on?
Oh man,
Oh, hold on, just a minute. Yeah, Charmin came in late. Let me introduce him. Charmin is one of our other hosts of our show, and
sorry for the lighting, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
he is now a full contributor to Play Like a Jet, and you could check him out in his writing over there. So go check him out on Twitter.
And he's in the
on their
witness
website.
protection program right now, so that's why his lighting's a little dark. We can't see him.
Good one, Chris. Good one.
So
Yeah, it's all Daniel's fault somehow. I don't know how yet, but it's Daniel's fault somehow. I don't.
It always is.
Yeah.
So when was it? When was the host's fault when someone doesn't have good lighting? Come
I
on
know,
now.
right? I don't know. I really don't know how that happens, but it definitely is your fault.
Well, Daniel sent me that light that I have. I'm just letting you guys know.
So this is the thing, Chris. He likes you better than all of us. That's what it is. Yeah, he gives you lighting and he gives Christa lighting, but he doesn't give me any.
Christa
There you
has
go.
her own lighting. She's
We've exposed you,
Yeah, I
Daniel.
got my
Floors on her own.
Uh-huh.
So, do we think we see any light to Marcus May's contract discussion? Because it's pretty in the dark. So, what do you think?
Yeah,
No pun intended.
no pun intended, right? I think he'll be signed. I think he'll probably be, especially on a team with such youth, on a part of the team with so much youth. a player like that is probably a commodity you don't want to lose. Somebody that's a leader, somebody that is um, pretty good at what he does. Actually, I think he's a little underrated. I think because of the years he spent in the shadow of the one Jamal Adams, people have. I have to be careful when I say that name around Krista. Yeah, that one guy that forced his way out of New York. Uh, I think what happened is that people kind of underestimated his game. Yes, his game is nothing like Jamal Adams' game, but what he does very well, and he will help a lot of those young guys grow into the system, into the new system. So um, I think that signing is forthcoming. I don't think that's something that Joe Douglas will miss on.
Do you think that just I'm opening to all of you guys. Do you think he should be paid as like a top 5 safety?
I don't know. Like, is he in the same category as Justin Simmons? I don't know. Like, from what I read on what do you call it? Connor Hughes's mailbag article, he had said that the Jets are in the $10 to $12 million range for him, and he's asking for more in the $14 to $15 million range. So I'm thinking they're going to meet somewhere in the middle, hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe 12 to 13 million, right? I think that's okay. I don't know. 3 years, $40 million. How's that?
I'd be down for that. I think for me with Marcus May, what he has, like what Sharman said, that he brings leadership and he for the youth, and there's no one better at the safety position at this current moment than Marcus May. We have Ashton Davis, but he's still a little raw, and we have the guy that we signed from the Raiders Rams, Lamarcus Joyner. But I feel like having Marcus May is pivotal to have in our defense because we're not sure what we have in cornerbacks. They're a little iffy, but I can count on Marcus May. I think the one thing that a lot of people like to discredit this man is that a lot of people want to say, "Oh, I don't want to give this contract because of his age currently," and people want to say, "Well, he's 28 years old." And when I say I want to pay Marcus May, people think I want to give this man like a 10-year deal. I want this guy on the team. I want to be a Jet for life. I just don't. I personally can't stand when there's guys like NFL, whatever Twitter, Chad Forbes tweets out. Jets should not cave into Marcus May's demands. It's his fault that he's
Because of the
old
lightning
and stuff like that. And it just takes like that I can't stand. But I think for the Jets, it would be smart to give Marcus May a deal, and it'd be good motivation to Marcus May to play on a 2 to 3 year deal. Because if he plays well, he could go and show the Jets, oh, see, like I can play, I am worth the contract, and he can also prove everyone wrong about his age. And possibly, I don't want to say it's like if the Jets are an option, he could go on another team. But personally, I think it's in the best interest for the Jets is to keep Marcus May, and hopefully he's a Jet for life.
On my point, I think that even though we give May an extra million or two, I think it's well worth spending that. First of all, for two things, because as much as we have younger safeties and whatnot, and we just signed the Marcus Joyner, I think that it shows that May's still a great player and he could play both safety positions for the value for that. I think it's worth. And also, you also want to show that the Jets front office is a willing front office that pays its players.
Yes.
Because we kind of had a history about, trading players, cutting players, no loyalty. And I think to pay 1 or 2 million more for the intangibles that Marcus May brings, I think it's worth spending the money. And I think that, to show the league or possible free agents later in, next year or perhaps, to show them that we
Yes.
will spend if you're worth it. So I think that's the way it should go. You know.
I think we've shown that. I think what we the couple of contracts that we've signed in this offseason has shown that the Jets are willing to sign. Um, I I think I agree with you that Marcus May is worth the money. I think what's holding up this contract, and I think we have seen this across the board with Joe Douglas, is that his whatever number he feels like you're worth, he is pretty stubborn
Yeah.
about that. If he thinks you're worth about 12 million, that's about what you're gonna get, and he does not budge off that number, and that normally creates a lull in contract negotiations because players have to evaluate if they really feel like they need to be on the Jets or not. So let's be real. The conversation around the Jets, I don't think it's only us Jets fans that are noticing that things are really changing around here, and a lot of players want to be here. They want to be part of whatever it is that Salah is bringing, whatever Joe Douglas is building. So I think in the near future, a lot more players will want to be here anyway. It's just that the negotiation with Joe Douglas is kind of tough because he does not budge
Yeah.
of whatever number he feels like you're worth.
Well,
Yeah, and you know what, and they got plenty of cap space. You know, next year I think they're going to be upwards about 70 million in cap space. So that's not. I don't think that's the issue. I think exactly what Sharman's saying. I think he's got a number, and he's going to be stubborn. He's going to stick to it. Let's just hope both sides are willing to move a little bit and kind of meet in the middle. If they're 2 or 3 million apart per year, I can't see how they could. You know why they can't get to some kind of an agreement. And, like I said, meet somewhere in the middle, maybe not go all the way up to 15 a year, but maybe not go down as low as 10 or 11, maybe meet in the middle, like 12, 13-ish million a year for 3 years, because he is, what'd you say? He's 28, right? So
Yeah, he's
I don't think you
28
want to
currently.
go, you don't want to go more than 3, 4 at the most.
Yeah.
So you figure 3, like I said, 3 for 40 doesn't sound bad, but maybe a little bit more.
How about
Mhm.
how about how about the length of the contract is determined on his usage and how many snaps he plays in for the amount of years. So let's say you say he probably has 2 years of prime football remaining, 28 and 29, right? So you sign him you sign a 3-year contract, but the third is optional. Depending on whatever happens, depending on if you could make the team, if you could start, whatever, and then you add that money, you know, as as a condition, basically. Hey, you're gonna get that money only if you play this amount of snaps, only if you make the team, only if you know what I mean.
But if
So
I'm the
it
player,
end up being just a 2-year contract.
right? If I'm the player, I would probably want that to be the 4th year. Like, give me 3 years,
Yeah, of
and the
course.
4th year is an option.
And exactly probably the conversation they're having, and which again, and this is why the age thing keeps coming up. It's not that people think that he's a incredibly old player. It's what the argument is for signing the contract. If,
Mhm.
like Chris says, if the Jets want to do what I just said, sign a 3-year contract with an optional 3rd year basically on it, Marcus May won't be, or his representatives won't like that. They will want the 4th year, and they would want the 4th year to be optional because they would think, hey man, he's only 30. What's the big deal?
Right. Right.
And the Jets are looking at it like, yeah, but we've seen 30-year-old safeties and what happens to them when they get to 30. So we don't want to invest in a 30-year-old and his speed and his range, which as the way Marcus May plays, that's probably the biggest part of his game, is the fact that he could play sideline to sideline, and he could
Yeah.
drop back and play that position where he's the midfielder. So
I think it's one of the interesting signings that I think it's going to get done. But one of the things that we have to keep our eye on, just in case we don't get an extension and he just plays out the season on the tag. But interestingly, speaking of signings, we did sign someone today, someone pretty big, and we want to talk about the Morgan Moses 1 year deal, right? That
Mm-hmm.
he signed today, and there is a nice picture of, as you can see, Morgan Moses coming to New York, and
Oh.
yeah, we can't see you, Sherman, but yeah. So here he is. He's signing his contract. It's a 1 year, 3.5 million base salary, plus it could rise to 5.3 million with incentives, with playing time, yada yada yada. So, welcome to New York, Morgan Moses, and we'll see how it goes from here. I mean, do we everybody on Twitter has been talking about the fact that, do we now move Fant to guard? Do we move Fant as a swing tackle because Morgan Moses is there at right tackle? And I just think this is a great depth signing. And in case Becton has injury issues, we could just slide Fant there and just have Morgan Moses as being the right tackle there. So it's a good
Mm-hmm.
depth move, and I really like it. What do you guys think?
Okay, Charmin, you could definitely get into this because we had James Wighouse from Jets X Factor on our podcast this week, and he really explained a lot on it. And Charmin could probably get into detail about it a little better.
Looking into what he could bring, what he could bring to the Jets. He definitely would be the starting right tackle, in my opinion. I don't think you would put anybody else at that position. Um, he's way too consistent of a player to ignore. If you played 6 years and almost every game, I think every game for 6 years at a position, why would I want to put you anywhere else? Especially at playing against some of the players that he at his position. I think I want to say James Wighouse had videos on his Twitter showing him going up against T.J. Watt, showing him going up against the Bucks start pass rusher. For
Shaq
some
Barrett.
reason, is Shaq Barrett. Yeah, thank you. And he is holding his own against those are probably two of the best edge players in the NFL, and he's holding his own against these guys. So he's definitely the starting right tackle in my opinion. That's that. Um, what Fant is, and which I made the mistake myself, but you could admit when you're wrong. Fant can't play guard. You don't want Fant to play guard. He does not have the anchor necessary to play inside against some of the better defensive tackles in the NFL. You would not want that. Um, what you want is him to be your swing tackle, basically. Because what that does is all of a sudden, instead of you having to go to probably a third string guy to start if there's an injury, you all of a sudden have a 1B or 1A slight guy to start. He is not as good as Moses at playing right tackle, but he's not a total drop off. And that makes the Jets, when you put the whole group together, it makes the Jets offensive line just way better than we thought we would at this point in the season.
And also another bonus, real quick, on with Fant. Fant also played a little tight end with Seattle, so you could even line him up as the extra lineman / tight end in short situations and stuff like that. So that's the kind of athlete we're talking about. He's a guy that played basketball in college, so he's that kind of an athlete, Fan. So you could definitely swing him.
I think that as much as you guys are explaining good things, I think it's better for our viewers to go check out your podcast that you had this interview with, what's his name? Wighouse?
James Wighouse.
James
Of
Wighouse.
Jets X Factor.
Yes, from a Jets X Factor. So I think our viewers, or our YouTube channel viewers, could go check your podcast out wherever they could get their podcast. just think, Christa, your thoughts? I know you've been on Morgan Moses on Twitter a lot, trying to sign him.
Yes, I'm all for getting all the offensive linemen to protect our franchise quarterback, Zach Wilson. I've been very adamant. I want all the good offensive linemen here. I like Morgan Moses. I'll admit when people called me out, say you probably didn't know who he was until he got cut. But you know what? I did my research. I like this young man. I like his leadership, and I like the fact that he's always available to play and he's pretty good at what he does. So I'm taking my chances. I want this young man on my football team. I'm glad he chose the New York Jets. I don't care if it's just a 1-year deal. I'm glad that we have him now to protect Zach Wilson, and it just makes our offensive line better because I'm tired of horrible offensive line. And before I rant and before I start cursing about offensive line, I'm just glad this man is here on the right tackle and he's here to protect Zach Wilson.
Awesome, isn't it? Awesome. That's a positive, good thing, though. But for our next segment, that I want to transition to kind of the duds of the NFL week. It's one of the things that I found is NFL. The NFL punishes 3 teams for OTA violations, especially Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer, who got hit with a big fine, and also the 49ers, along with the Raiders. So, from what I've read and what I've seen is pretty much they kind of went overboard with their OTA training and whatnot, and some players did get hurt. So that's why they're kind of getting these, you know, tickets from the league. So what do you guys think of this? Should they be finding these teams?
Yeah, I think if it's injury related, like you were saying with San Francisco, right? They were pushing their players a little bit for injury wise. Yeah, sure. I think that's because the fines are there to protect the players. Jaguars, we don't know why, but I'm gonna assume right off the bat that they got fined because they signed Tim Tebow to be a tight end.
What?
That's offensive.
I guess it was so dumb, and it was.
Oh my god! I did not see that coming.
That's just my guess. I don't know. I'm kidding, obviously.
Sherman.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
sir.
sure it has something to do with that too. But you know what? The fines are there, I think, just to protect the players and also to protect the teams. You know, like why push these guys to get hurt, and then the players might, file suit against them, and so I guess it makes sense. Like we don't know the truth, but
hey, Sherman.
Yes,
sir.
Sir.
That's a Panda joke, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's as close as Chris would get to a Panda joke. I'll tell you that.
Right?
Yeah. But it was brilliantly executed. I'll tell you that because we didn't see that coming. Right? None of us saw that coming.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah. Hey, Daniel, you need to take Panda classes from Chris. Imagine that.
No.
I'm kidding.
I mean,
I'm sorry to cut you off, Daniel.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think
go ahead.
I think come on. It's something that was negotiated between the players and the NFL that's what it's going to be, a specific amount of times where in OTAs there wouldn't be any kind of tackling or physical play, and we would wait until training camp for that kind of stuff, and then it's there's specific times you can and certain specific times you can't. So you can't tell me that you don't know when you're going overboard. There's some coaches that'll just love to do that stuff. They like to kind of what do you call that? Skirt the line, I guess you'd say, or just literally kind of play on the edge with that stuff. And I think Chris is right. I think you open yourself to a lot of different issues as a team when a player, hey, we have an agreement, and you're making a player do something that he's not supposed to do. If he gets injured, then you open yourself as an organization to a lot of things. So that's on the coaches, in my opinion, to do better. By the way, on the 49ers, I don't get that because Kyle Shanahan has been at it for a while. How are you getting? I understand Urban Meyer, but Kyle Shanahan shouldn't be getting himself in that kind of issue.
No better.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Absolutely.
As far as like this, teams getting fines, is it the league just trying to protect themselves and say no, 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 slap on the wrist type of thing? Because they don't want the union to come after them for overworking these players.
I'm sure it's a combination of both. They're protecting themselves, and they don't want the union to come after them and have lawsuits and all that crap. So.
Right. Hey, Daniel. That, like I said, there's an agreement that was signed between the NFL and NFLPA that states there's going to be a specific amount of physicality. That's it. If you go over that, you're opening yourself for a fine. It's simple as that. It's not something where the NFL wants to come out and fine anybody. They agreed on a specific amount of physicality. If you go overboard, you get fined. It's simple as that.
I see. All right. Let's also move into a bigger topic. In the offseason, the Jets kind of talked about, making Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh talked about, having a great culture. Well, talking about culture, I want to kind of come to this argument about what the Washington football team this week received a $10 million fine. For $10 million fine for their involvement as far as their workplace culture, their allegations and whatnot. And we wanted to try to put into perspective as an outside viewer to things. But I think, in personally, $10 million is just a little petty fine. So yeah. So what do you guys think?
I would say that was a slap on the wrist to $1 billion company, right? $10 million. It's still $10 million, but for a company that's worth in the billions, and just the team is worth in the billions. I'm sure Daniel Snyder's worth even more than that. So 10 million is nothing. They're already trying to fix it. He named his wife the CEO or whatever it was of Washington. So I thought that was a step in the right direction. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully it was a slap. Obviously it was a slap on the wrist, but hopefully they learned their lesson. And they're gonna police it a lot better, and it's not gonna get to anything extreme that it did. But I think $10 million was a slap on the wrist. That's nothing for them. They're lucky. No draft picks were taken away or, anything like that. So,
I mean, do you think they should have gotten their draft picks taken away?
I thought they should have got something, but because $10 million is nothing. That's nothing. You're not, to me, that's nothing for a $1 billion industry, a $1 billion company. So, should have been a little bit more.
My problem with this organization is that I've been hearing stories about that front office culture for years, and we're not talking about probably over a decade. This has been going on for a very, very, very long time, and we're waiting until 2021. I mean, it's incredible that there's been lawsuits, complaints. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think somebody wrote a whole story about this a while ago on I don't know if it was one of the prominent newspapers or whatever it was, about just the sheer amount of workplace misbehavior by former for front office people. So the fact that it's coming out now that they're getting a $10 million fine, I mean, there's been other things. I think they were forced to change their organizational structure, like part of what Chris was saying about his wife being the CEO. I think last year or year before, something like that. They had to change their football operations guy, and they were forced to because he was tied up in some of the stuff that the complaints that was going on. So there's a long list of stories behind that. So I don't know, 10 million. I don't know if that does anything. I think forcing them to change their organizational structure and culture is something that's best suited for an NFL organization, because you can't in any way besmirch the logo, player or organization. So
Yeah, as far as most people, players come and go. Everybody, roots for the laundry, as they say. So you want to keep your business running clean and smooth as possible. And I think, you know, this fine is just like, I guess, eyewash kind of thing. But hopefully they could figure it out. And with Ron Rivera and with all his new front office people, I hope they change the culture out in Washington. You know what I mean? Let's go on a positive note for this, and we want to now talk to you about our Spotify and YouTube accounts. Take it away, Chris.
Oh, we're currently on YouTube and Spotify, so you could follow us there. If you want to just listen to us, we could check us out on Spotify. Obviously, watch us on YouTube as well, and follow us at all of our Twitter accounts, as you see on the bottom of the screen, at Jets Frenzy for the show, Pandas at Marloose X. I don't know how to say that. Mine's CP7NY, and Charmin's is Grown Folk 1980, and Christa's Christa AXX3. Christa XX3. Sorry.
Yep.
We know why the two X's are there. So.
Really? Why? Why is that? I never understood why.
Yeah.
because they're curse words.
Yeah, that's right. Krista
I'm
holds
just
nothing
kidding.
back at all,
Yeah.
Oh no!
as we've
Yeah.
learned. As we've
Oh
learned.
no! Okay. Here's another top of nugget. So apparently, as we are moving to our next topic, is about Chris Herndon goes to Tight End University. It's a organization. It's a program slash a camp for tight ends. Therefore, about 40 tight ends are invited to go, and they basically work out as tight ends. And from what I've heard from camp, or what I've seen on Twitter from the updates, is that Chris Herndon is dropping a lot of balls, and apparently he's not getting the offense. So I hope he gets very involved and fixes his route running and his hands. So Krista, come, you're very emotional here. Come and attack this. Come.
Well, first off, I want to personally thank Travis Kelsey, George Kittle, whoever you're running the tight end you, for accepting Chris Herndon into your program, because I was one of those fans that was praying. I think I on Twitter said, "Can you please get this man in your university? Because if anyone is going to talk some sense, it's the two best tight ends in the game. Please do whatever you have to do to change our young tight end into the guy that could potentially catch." I don't know what happened ever since he got into that controversy of, I don't know what he did in Route 80 and New Jersey. He hasn't been the same guy. He came back out of shape, and he's just been down in the dumps, and Adam Gase hasn't done anything to change this young man's confidence. I want you guys to give him a pep talk, maybe teach him how to catch a football, maybe say, "Hey, Chris Herndon, you know what the best strategy is for us? Here's a jug machine. Catch some footballs. Because until you learn how to catch some footballs, you can't do anything right now." Because I just want someone to catch the damn football on the New York Jets tight end group. And I'm hoping that guy can be Chris Herndon. So Travis Kelsey, George Kittle, work your magic. Give some advice, piece of magical advice, talk some sense, yell, curse, do whatever you have to. I just want him to catch the damn football. If he could do that, I will be happier. Because I just want him on the field catching footballs. Because I do not
No,
want
this is not a rant.
Is this a rant? Is this like a pre 2-minute warning rant or something, Krista?
I promised myself I don't get a pre 2-minute rant, but somehow one of these topics triggers me.
It's like you're on the sidelines throwing the ball around. You're warming up. You're like,
I just want Chris Herndon to get into a relationship with the jug machine. Is that so much to ask for? I don't want him to drink.
Wow,
I don't want. I mean the jug machine in terms of catching the football. I don't mean kegs or jugs of beer. But you can do that once you learn how to catch a damn football. But thank you, Travis Kelce, George Kettle, for accepting him. I know you had a lot of applicants, but the fact that you took Chris Herndon, it means a lot to us.
I mean, I want to use the Vegas mantra. You know, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Whatever happens in Jersey stays in Jersey too. Don't bring it over the border.
No, I want him to come back a better man and catch a football. He hasn't been a better. He hasn't done. He has to catch the football. That's all I want him to do.
I think I will play devil's advocate here. I understand why everybody is disappointed in Chris Herndon, and I am too. But I will say, I don't know if that's true, but my feeling is that Chris Herndon, after his controversy with, I think he got suspended 4 games for using some kind of banned substance or whatever, he came back and he just seemed like he was pressing. Like he was trying to force the game, like he was trying to do too much. And the small things suffer when you do that. So you can't look the ball in, and you forget your routes, and easy catches become, the most difficult things to pull off because you're thinking of so many other things, but just doing the most basic things that your position asks you to. I think that's what his deal was, because you can't tell me the same guy I watched play the year before that, who never struggled to catch the ball, all of a sudden struggled to catch the ball. It had to be something else. It had to be something mental more than it's being physical, in my opinion. I think the scheme will help him a little bit. Tight ends normally thrive in this scheme. The only issue I see is the fact that he's not that good of a blocker. And to be a tight end in this scheme, you have to be able to block. So that's the only thing I foresee being an issue. I think if he could pull that off, because I think John Benton's scheme is pretty. I'm not gonna say it's simple. I'm gonna say it's something that you could, as a blocking tight end, probably figure out. He should be able to thrive, in my opinion.
Okay, let's think of very good things for him this year. New coach, new start, refresh, going to camp. Let's see how he comes out. Like if he comes out playing like he played in the Green Bay game, holy smokes! Best things for him. So.
And you know what? Real quick, Sharman brought up about the new offensive line coach. Sharman wrote a really great article on playlikeajet.com, kind of introducing the our new offensive line coach, Benton. So definitely check it out if you guys can. It's really informative, and you'll get a better understanding of the offensive line coach and what our offensive line is going to be all about this year.
Sharman is like trending to be a big star, right? Like like a
You're
star.
Going too far now.
No, I was gonna say
relax.
He's
getting there.
He's being a star. The only problem is you can only see a star in the dark. That's all.
He's not at Christa's level yet, but he's
no. That's what Chris. That's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm shooting for, man.
We all are.
I mean, I know, man. I know. Hey,
Christa's level.
All right.
I know.
So enough with the stardom talk. Let's go into this week's brain tweezers with Stump Trivia with Chris.
There we go.
All right, these are easy. So the first two are going to be really simple for you guys. So
he always says that really simple. And we're all standing here with our mouths like wide open. Ugh.
Okay. So Zach Wilson has become only the 7th player on the Jets to wear the number 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you all 7, obviously, because you're not going to get them.
God.
But you could give me the last 2 guys that have won the number 2.
No, that mercy.
Very easy.
Oh.
Don't overthink it. It's
Nick
simple.
Folk.
Yes.
Yeah.
From 2010
Good one.
to 2016.
Uh-huh.
And
There
who's
was
the
one
next
other.
one?
Tom Tupa?
No. Yeah, I think he won number 7.
7, okay.
I'm only asking you the last 2 because the other guys, I don't think any of us could have got.
So Nick Folk is 1. Position, Chris?
He was the
I'm
most.
gonna give it away.
He was the most. Yeah, he was the most recent one before.
I'm trying to think.
Before Wilson, there was somebody between Wilson and Nick Folk.
Punter?
No. Kicker.
Who?
I'll give you the kicker. It's a kicker.
Oh wow.
Jason Myers.
Right,
No,
Jason Myers.
It was Jason
Oh,
Myers.
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, stop there.
So
This is
Panda
the
got
one.
both right. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The other guys,
Yeah.
if you guys want to know, Raul Alegre in 1991, Billy Atkins, 62-63, Ed Chelbeck, 63, Nick Folk, and Tony Leinhardt in 79, and Myers, and then now Wilson. So
I think Allegre is the kicker that replaced Leahy, right?
possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
91.
Yeah, 91, yeah.
And Allegre was from the Giants.
Yeah.
He was good with the Giants. So, all right, we'll stick with the numbers for a second before we get to the really hard question. But there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players that wore the number 1 jersey. Who was the last one for the Jets?
1.
Number 1. I'm not giving you a hint for this one. So
Long snapper.
number 1. Number 1.
Does
Not a
training
long
camp
snapper.
count? Because Terrell Pryor were number 1, then he changed to 16. Does that count?
Oh yeah, that's right.
No,
He did.
Okay, that doesn't count.
wasn't in the season, right?
Okay, so that
No.
doesn't count. Let's see. Number 1.
I'll give you the hint. It's not a kicker. It's a quarterback.
Michael Vick.
Right. All right. Now that you got the other
Oh,
players
my-
that wore number 1, I'll give it to you real quick. Ryan Quigley in 2013. Mike
Really?
Nugent, Mike Nugent from 05 to 08. Matt Turk in 02.
Wow.
Brett Conway in 2000. Dave Jacobs in 79. And Mike Adelme in 73, 74.
I have no idea who
What
that
are we
is.
gonna do? What
Yep.
are we gonna do without Panda when he goes away?
I know.
Stop
You guys are in big trouble, I'll tell you
We're
that.
big in trouble. Yeah.
Okay,
Christa,
here's the real
we're
tough
fake.
question.
We're bad.
Here's the real tough question. And I'll be
Here
honest,
goes the-
this is a tough question. And even when I looked it up, I was surprised to see these names. But as I thought about it, that kind of made sense. But
Okay.
most rushing attempts by a running back in NFL history in one season. So it's not a Jet. I'm just saying this is in all of NFL history. They're all within the last. The oldest one that's on the list is from 37 years ago. And they're all names you've heard of, I think. I'm pretty sure you did.
Okay, there is a Baltimore Raven on here.
Jamal Lewis?
That's the name I was thinking.
Ingram?
Jamal Lewis is not. Jamal Lewis.
What?
His big carry year was.
Oh yeah, that's true. He had that 1 year. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, he's tied for 13th actually, and he had 387 in 2003.
Yeah.
I think one.
Where does Curtis Martin on? Where is Curtis Martin on this list?
Curtis Martin. His highest total was when he was 31 years old.
Yeah, I remember. That's when he led the league in rushing, right?
Yeah, he had 371, and that's 28th.
Sheesh.
So
okay,
a lot of
all
these
right.
guys. I'll say this: only one of the 5 right now is a Hall of Famer, and probably I would say maybe one more is going to be a Hall of Famer. Maybe.
Chris
Major
Johnson.
carries. No.
Who?
Chris Johnson.
No. He had that big 2,000-yard season, but he's not even in the top 35 in this.
Most carries in a season by a running back.
Chris Johnson's big one was 358 in 2009. That's 46th.
Only
Jerome
one is
Bettis?
Hall of Famer. How about
Currently.
All Day? Adrian Peterson.
I was gonna say that too.
No. His highest
No,
total.
oh gosh.
His highest total is wow.
Not even close, huh?
Chris,
His highest total is 41st at 363.
I think it might need a lifeline.
Okay, so you mean King Henry?
Go ahead. You had a guess, Daniel?
Yeah, the bus.
Jerome Bettis?
Nah. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't think he carried. Actually, he's 23rd with 375 in 1997. Not bad, but not top 5.
So Henry is not on this list, right?
Okay, I'll give you a hint. One.
All right.
The number 1 on the list is a Kansas City Chief.
Oh, what's his name?
Marcus Allen?
No. Cannot be.
No, when he joined it, he was a little bit older anyway.
Priest Holmes.
That's the name I was thinking. That's not him? Wow.
No. All right, I'm going to give you number 1. Number 1 with 416 carries in 2006. Larry Johnson.
Oh my God.
Right?
People keep forgetting. I can't believe that dude carried the ball that much.
I'm with you.
That is ridiculous.
Okay, so number 2, if I give you the team, you might get it. Atlanta Falcons.
Daniel, the name. What's his name? I could see his face right now. I can't remember his name.
Jamal Williams.
What?
Jamal Williams.
You had the Jamal right, so you were in.
It's not. Yeah.
Jamal
Anderson. Yeah.
He had 410 in 1998. That was that big year he had. But if you look at all these guys, the year after they did this, well,
done. Over.
Yeah. Number 3, I don't think you're gonna get, but I'm gonna give you the team and see if you get it. Tampa Bay.
Mike Allstott?
No. 1980,
just kidding.
1984. So
no, I wouldn't get that. No.
James Wilder.
No.
I don't know if you guys heard of him, but 407 in 1984. Number 4 was the Hall of Famer.
Team.
LA Rams.
Eric Dickerson?
Right.
Dickerson.
404 in 1986. And number 5 is the possible Hall of Famer. If I give you the team, you'll get it right away. So I'll give you the team this way because it's going on and long. Tennessee.
Eddie George.
Right. He had 400. Wow. He had 403 in 2000.
That's one of those. I should have gotten that. Wow.
But those are names that we wouldn't have ever thought of, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Harry's. I thought when I first looked it up, I was like, all right, Peyton's got to be up here, but he wasn't up there.
So in other words, any running back that ran over 380 yards or over 375 yards for a season, their career is over.
Pretty much.
Yeah. More or less. Yeah.
Right. I mean, not definitely over, but yeah, they never come out.
There's a couple of outliers, but that's usually a bad thing. Like Larry Johnson, we didn't hear about him after that.
Yep. Yeah, it was
Jamal
done
Anderson,
after that.
Right? After 1998, right? They had that big run to the Super Bowl, and then that was it for them.
And plus, nowadays the NFL is such a happy league.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? Yeah, just to show you, Derrick Henry last year carried the ball 378 times which is 19th. So that's something to watch because he's only 26, so he should be okay. But let's see how he does this year after all those carries.
Yeah, that's
a lot.
because do you remember what he had the year before? He must have had something in that neighborhood the year before, though.
I'll look it up. Hold on.
Probably in the 360s or something.
You know
Had
what?
to.
This year 370. Right. I mean, last year 378. The year before 303.
What?
But that's still a lot. You know, that's still a lot.
Yeah, no,
for this day,
yeah.
You know, for this foot, you know, for this day and age in football, that I think that's a lot.
That's a great question, Chris. That was awesome.
All right. Let's move away from our trivia and go into some intelligent football mind. Charmin, with your chalk talk this week, let's bring at it.
Yeah, my chalk, and don't mind the Bath and Body Works bag. My wife, all the that's what happens in this house. My chalk talk is of course the article Chris mentioned talking about John Benton. I watched almost 2 hour video of him teaching the wide zone offense, and did a little bit of research, and also reached out to a friend of mine that I know studied his scheme and his coaching, the way he coaches the wide zone. And what I came up with was a guy that's is pretty direct about how he wants things done, and a scheme that is also pretty direct. It's a in your face, take no prisoners. We're not giving anything up to gain anything. Like you hear a lot. You hear a lot of offensive blocking schemes talk about giving ground to gain ground. Of course, there are going to be instances when you have to, but he likes to limit those to as little as possible. He likes to take the defensive line and bring them to wherever he wants them to go, basically forcing the issue. There is also always going to be an aggressive take on any play, if it whether ran or pass, and almost every movement, no matter how small it is, even if it's a small muscle twitch, a small movement of your arm or your hand or your feet, every position of your toes, where it points, whatever, everything is in together is part of the scheme, basically. So he teaches these small, basic, kind of like basic physics, that employs movement and direct movement, basically, and forcing the issue on almost every play. So that's the kind of offensive line teacher the Jets has. The thing I like about the scheme is what he tries to do. They try to get things done in threes, basically. So by the time you're as an offensive lineman, you get your third step in, you should be at the mark where you want to be, or you should have your defensive player at where you want him to get to. If you've lost a step, or you're given something back by then, that means you've lost the rep. So that's a lot of kind of what it in a small dose, kind of what the John Benton is about. And I'm pretty excited at what he could do with what we have at offensive line.
Okay, awesome. That's it for Chalk Talk this week, huh, Charmin? Right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. I'm hoping that we have a very improved line, and we go at it and we attack, because we have really good run blocking tackles on both sides. I expect to run outside zone, so we'll see from that. All right, it's that time again. That time to
That time again.
turn up your volume loud. It is that time. It is the Christa 2-minute ranting time. Here we go. You
All
ready,
right, am I
Christa?
on clock? I'm ready when you are.
Good, you're on.
Go.
Okay. Now my 2-minute warning topic today is why companies want to choose elevator music when they put us on hold. Now this elevator music is so annoying. I swear I think the only reason why they put elevator music is so we end the call. But you know what? When they do the elevator music, I'm more motivated to stay online till someone picks up the phone. And sometimes I have to go through different elevator music, different classical music, and sometimes it gets very, very boring and I get the same piano tone. It's like do 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 and I'm like, dude, I just want someone to pick up the call already. Then finally when someone actually picks up the call, I get surprised, like, hi, how may I help you? I'm calling from such and such. And I'm like, yeah, hi, I'm happy I finally got someone after listening to 15 music of your elevator music for 15 music. It's nice to finally
1
hear a
minute.
human voice. So finally, when I finally get someone, I, I'm tempted not to curse through the whole time when they get elevator music. My one thing I'd like to ask is, can you get new music? Why does it have to be classical? Why does it have to be elevator music? Why does it have to be something that makes you want to go to bed and sleep? Why can't they put some Post Malone, some Drake? I don't know anything but
That might
elevator
be worse.
music. But you know what? I'd be listening to it because it actually has lyrics to it. When I have classical music, it's the same beat. I feel like, but and then when they finally changed the music, I actually thanked them. I don't know if there's a guy that actually listens to me because I curse when I'm in hold. I
10
actually thanked
seconds.
them when they finally changed the music. So my 2-minute warning is please change the music. I'm sick of elevator music. If you're gonna put me in a hold, put something with lyrics so I don't go to bed.
There you go. This week's 2-minute warning. This is this week's 2-minute warning. Here comes Christa. Elevator music is supposed to soften you, supposed to calm you down so you don't get aggravated on waiting. But apparently it does
I
the
do
opposite.
get aggravated because they put it on me on hold for like 30 minutes. Sometimes I feel like it's an hour, and it's the same beat over and over again. And sometimes they change the track, and I actually thank them when it's a different one. I thank the guy, or if anyone's listening, I said thank you. I finally have a different tune, and then I'm like, oh great. When they put the same tone again, I'm like, oh great. There's this bullshit again.
No, but hold on. If you call progressive and you have 15, 20
There we
minutes of
go.
elevator music and the guy who responds is Baker Mayfield, what would you do
Oh,
then? Would you be F this and F that?
no,
Not
because I
exactly.
have no.
Not exactly.
You always have to
I
bring
don't think
Baker
so.
Mayfield.
Which
I mean, come on. It's soothing, isn't it, to hear his voice too? Because
His voice, not elevator music. When I'm on hold for like 30 an hour, I want someone to actually pick up, not the elevator music for a good hour. It's no.
well, the good thing is you could put your phone on speaker and just kind of leave it there. You know,
that too.
you don't have to hold
True,
it. The old
true,
days, you had to sit there with your phone like this and wait.
true.
And wait.
But no, my luck when the second I leave the phone to get a drink, something to eat,
Right. There you go. Could go out, come
do
back.
something to eat. The person will come up like hello, hello, and then I'll be already gone. I have that
Right.
kind of luck. So I'm like, oh great, I guess I have to take the phone with me.
All right. Here's one more word of note is that we are on Spotify and we are also on YouTube. As you can
YouTube.
see, this is our YouTube live stream playing right now. As you can, I'm sharing right now, and you could catch us after we do the live stream and leave comments. You could leave how bright my face is from the lighting, and or how Charmin is in the dark over there, and yeah, and how Krista sounds during when she rants. So please give us a like there, subscribe there, and we'll be looking to give you more content. And with that, lastly, we have we have a new segment that I added. It's my segment, and it's called Panda's Bamboo Shack. Now, Panda's Bamboo Shack is about going around the internet, especially Twitter, and seeing what people write about, which I think are creative or dumb. And also, we're gonna be using this platform to talk about our poll of the week. That's friendly, and we've been putting out poll questions out there. So let me get to that. This week, Christa put a wonderful poll stating, let's screen to load. She said, "What's more likely?" Hold on a minute.
What's likely to happen first?
What's more likely to happen? Jets take Mosley shopping. Christa, I thought it was Jets take you shopping. No?
No, it was a joke about the rumor about Jets are shopping Mosley, and I joke around. I said, "Are you gonna get him a Gucci watch?" And everyone seemed to laugh. Like,
the second question is Nick Foles blocks me on Twitter.
And you voted for it.
And I voted for that one. And then the last question.
You did.
And then the last answer was my Elijah Moore jersey arrives. And out of 169 votes who voted during the week, 74.6% said Elijah Moore's jersey is coming to Krista's house.
You know what? If Christa keeps it clean to Nick Foles, nice. If she's nice to him, which she normally is, I think normally. But sometimes she could go off the,
off the rails.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, she doesn't.
Listen,
that does not happen.
She's got 2 X's in her name, so that means one thing for sure, that she does go off the rails once in a while. So keep it nice. Nick Foles is a nice guy. Okay, he has no control. He has no control over what happens. Okay, it's nice that he's being wanted right now, but you got to remember,
exactly.
Yeah, but he doesn't have no control. He's signed to play for the Bears. He's not gonna, but he signed to play for them. So
I don't know, Christa. You might start your own Reddit line for Nick Foles wanting Nick Foles tweets.
I'm not looking for some sort of band.
You got a hashtag Foles to the Jets or something.
Krista's tweets move mountains. Okay,
that's right.
Don't forget that.
And here's another tweet that I
think
saw.
she got Gase fired.
Yeah, most likely. I think that's what happened. I think. Yep. I think her complaining got Gase fired. I think that's what happened.
This is another tweet I saw. It's a Pittsburgh Steelers player that he tweeted saying, "If you're a grown man and you got TikTok on your phone, stay the TF from around me." I think it's away from me, but I mean that's how he put it. So my question to you is, how is he and Juju Smith-Schuster going to be teammates? Because he lives on TikTok.
That's a great question. Great question.
Yeah, I wonder.
He said, stay the fuck.
There you go.
Around.
That's one of those X's.
Right. Thank you, Christa. See?
Thank you, Christa.
If you put a TF in the Foles,
so
he
stay away
may
from
block
that. Means you have to certain around a distance. That means Juju can't be right next to him. Luckily, he plays defense, right? Devin Bush, right? He plays defense.
Plays middle linebacker, yeah.
So he doesn't have to see him. Well, maybe he doesn't have to see him in the same field together. But if you're if you're in practice, I don't know how that's gonna go. Can't tackle Juju? Like, oh no, he has TikTok. Let me run away.
Sounds like Sounds like
really goofy.
Something
really goofy. Like,
I tend to and I think this is the thing. I think the reason why the tweet became so popular is like Daniel said, it sounds like he's taking a shot at probably the most popular TikToker in the NFL, which is his teammate. So hey, that's what he's doing. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a little strange, I have to say, but I don't know. But they only signed him to a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he knows, like, all right, he's out of here anyway.
Yep.
But that's
What
not
if
a
he
good sign.
offered if he came back, signed the deal? He's like,
I'm here, and guess what? I'm on TikTok. You know? Well,
that's
thankfully
what
they're
I
on
would do
different
if I
sides of the
re-signed
ball.
with the Steelers.
They're on different sides of the ball, so
Exactly.
that's a good thing.
I mean, I don't know. I've been kind of, you know, like concentrating on the Jets, so I haven't really like went around like people looking at other things because I'm so excited about the Jets because me and my Jets prediction this year 'cause we're making the playoffs, like I said
No,
before.
we. Uh,
I'm saying it in a light way. I'm not going. Zach Wilson's gonna be all this. Zach Wilson's gonna be all that. So this is the bamboo shack, and we're gonna be looking around, and it's funny, and it makes Krista more mad, so it's even funnier. So anyway,
It makes me mad. It doesn't make me mad.
No, she's
she likes the f bombs, so we'll go with that. All right. So in closing this week, let's end with Miss F bombs, Krista. Any thoughts for this week?
I wish Chris Herndon all the best. I'm glad that he's going to tight end U, and I hope he learns a lot from Travis Kelsey and Kettle because they're the two best in the game. And like I mentioned before, if anyone's going to be able to get in his head and hopefully motivate him, it's hopefully these two guys. And I think it's great. I'm looking forward to the Jet season. Hopefully, I say a lot less f bombs than I did on the show this season. I'm looking forward to a lot of positivity. I could start my weekend now that Morgan Moses was a Jet because I put my weekend on hold until the Jets announced that Morgan Moses was officially a Jet. So now that he's officially
Mark
a
of a
Jet,
true
I can
fan.
enjoy my weekend. And go Jets.
Charmin?
oh, this is gonna be a little bit. This is not gonna have to do with football. Um, please take responsibility for the things that you caused. As human beings, I hate when people act like they had no hand in when and how things went north or when things went south. It's almost like, oh yeah, I was a big part of something, but it went south and it wasn't my fault. Whatever percentage of that issue that was your fault, own it, even if it was 8%. Stop acting like other people is always the reason why things happen. Take ownership of your crap. I'm not gonna use bad words because there's no X in my name.
That's deep. That's deep. All right, Chris.
I'm going to keep it simple. July 15th is coming up. That's the deadline for teams to sign their tagged players to long-term deal, to an extension. If not, they're going to play on the tag and then wait till next year to sign something. Let's just hope we keep May, to more than just this year. I don't want to see him go this year on the tag. Hopefully we could get him on a little bit of an extension. That would be great. Like Christa said, maybe a Jet for life. That would be awesome. And then, you know what? And then another week or so after that, camp opens up and we're going to start seeing some preseason games finally. And we could really start talking about football instead of TikTok and elevator music and all that stuff. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. So this is, yes, the New York Jets. The New York Jets. All right, this is my final thought. Number one is please subscribe, like, and our show that we're recording now will be on Spotify the day today or after, and we'll be able to hear us on your commute or whatever you're doing. And please favorite when you get there. Also, next week, um, I will be on a bye week because I will not be able to be on show. So the guys will be taking you along for next week's show. So I'm having a bye week. So they'll probably yes, and they will
Happy
be
trails.
happy trails. Yeah, and also. I wish it was happy trails, but
I'm just kidding.
also
I'm just kidding.
check out Charmin's work on Play Like a Jet. Also subscribe to Jet's Liftoff and their podcast because at our show here we like to have some fun, relax and stuff, but they're more into football terms and in depth and good rate
It's
analysis. So check
Liftoff,
them
a
out.
Jets football podcast.
Say that. What's your name again?
Liftoff, a Jets football podcast.
Liftoff, a Jet podcast. So check them out, and also check us out on Spotify as well. And this week is July 4th, Independence Day. Every people are meeting with their families, going out grilling. Spending time. All pleasantries and stuff like that. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all guys when I see you. And here we go. See you guys later. Bye.
And out.
Bye.